What is your current relationship with the person you lost your virginity to? She called me out of the blue a few months after we last banged. Double quote. What's up? I asked. Double quote. I'm pregnant. As I wondered if the Navy would accept 16-year-old she finished with. It's Toby's. Have you seen him around? I avoided her after that. A Facebook. Like. Here and there. I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. He liked one of my photos on Instagram a month ago and then deleted his account the next day. Well, that's one way to deal with it happening. I'm Facebook friends with his wife. Who is the girl he left me for? I'm FB friends with him. Too. But he never posts anything. Their kid is not cute. And she got super fat. This makes me happy. I'm a terrible person. I got drunk and messaged him about 2 years ago. Because he popped into my head in a I wonder how he's doing kind of way. Anyway, I was drunk. Opened his Facebook page on my mobile. And couldn't make sense of the page. And assumed he had deleted me. So I sent. Thanks for deleting me, that's not nice, what the hell, man. He wrote back. What? And then I still realized we were actually still Facebook friends. I was just a fool. And closed the conversation and tried not to think about that conversation ever again. Until now. Thanks. Reddit. A few weeks afterward we broke up. And a few weeks after that, she and the secret boyfriend she had the whole time slashed the tires on my truck and covered it in syrup and rice. As a renewal of their love and commitments to each other. We don't talk. Whenever I see somebody that looks remotely like her, I turn around and walk away. Really? I feel strangely attracted to them. I'm the one that got away. She's tried a number of times to get us back together over the years. But she cheated. No second chances with that. Interesting, really. She took my virginity and then fricked my best friend. Which was awful. I lost my GF and my best friend. I got over it though and everything is great now. Thank God I don't think about it nearly 8 years later, lol. However, I recently moved to a new gym and her new husband work out there. After about 3 weeks of her seeing my face several times a week at the gym. She moved to a new gym, which I assume is to avoid her own self-shaming. So who's the real winner now? Asterisk. Haven't seen her in 36 years. Not together. But we still frick occasionally. 13 years later that PSSY is still atomic. Careful. Atomic PSSY can lead to nuclear family. We went out for 4 awesome years. Then she dumped me out of the blue and fricked a dude who I thought was my friend less than 2 weeks later. That was last week and I'm a frickin' wreck right now. I hope I never have to call for an ambulance because he is an EMT and I'd rather die trying to get myself to the hospital than see him again. It's been 8 years and she still texts me some nonsensical shit like, "Where are you?" Double quote. "Bring some milk." Double quote. "We'll have dinner at my mom's tonight." It might be because we're married. Though. We're married. 50th anniversary next October. I hope that one day I can be your age and still browse for dank memes on Reddit. Also congrats, do you have any tips on making it that far? None. She's dead. We dated at 16. Went all the way but broke up not long after. Remained friends and when we were 18. She was diagnosed with schizophrenia. 5 years after that. She died by suicide. That was 9 years ago in May and I'm still friends with her family. Went back to school after I graduated to help teach a new class. Met her in that new class. Got together. Got married 2 years later. Had a kid a year later. Found out she was banging 4 other guys pretty much the entire time we were married. Luckily. For her. Kiddo is mine. Had enough of the lies and told her to get the frick out. I wasn't in a stable enough environment so we agreed that she would take the kiddo with her. Hardest fricking decision I've ever had to make. I still only get to see her once every 2-3 months because they move 3 hours away. I only talk to the wife because we have a kid. She knows this. The only good thing that came out of this was my beautiful baby girl. The light of my life. To which I seldom get to embrace. I don't feel like a father. It sucks she has her for a mother. I make myself work to keep myself occupied and try not to think about all the shitty that happened. But I'm tortured by the love I have for my daughter. The wife has already moved on to another poor soul and had a kid with him, to which she didn't even want. She has everything and I have nothing. If you took the time to read this short story about my life, I thank you, for no one has truly heard it. If you leave a comment, good or bad, I appreciate your time. Good night. We're together 5 years. She broke off our engagement. Didn't speak to her for 2 years. Ironically enough, she was a photographer at our mutual friend's wedding. I asked to visit her dogs since I had not seen them since breakup, and they still remembered me after all the time passed. On friendly terms at the moment. Edited for spelling since I can't type. She broke up with me 2 weeks before high school graduation because she was a self-proclaimed wanderlust who didn't want to settle down too young. One of her dreams was to live in a treehouse in Belize at some point. 10 years later, she isn't more than an hour drive from our high school, whereas I've seen most of the United States and been to several countries including Belize. During which I stayed in a cabana in the jungle. Wow, this is cathartic. Banged her when I was 15. I'm 41 now. Banged her last night. So you banged her twice. Nice. Haven't seen her in years. Shortly after she dropped out of high school, she went to prison for heroin. A little Facebook snooping shows me she's now in college. Has a kid. And a husband with a good job. She looks happy. Good for her. Glad she bounced back. We dated for a couple years. Then she dumped me. 2 days later she was dating my best friend. I suspect she cheated on me with him while we were together. But have no proof. Anyway, they got married. A few years into the marriage she cheated on him with a coworker, leading him to divorce her. She wanted to just have fun with the guy. She was mid-20s. And he was 18. But she got pregnant. As far as I know, she's still with the guy and have 2 kids together. I married him. 4 boys, and 27 years later, he is currently sleeping next to me. Still friends with her and her husband. After 42 years. We had a foursome once too. But that was 35 years ago. Still good friends. We live in different cities but hang out when we can. Platonically these days. I haven't spoke to them in years. She called me out of nowhere with her boyfriend at the time about 2 years after we quit dating. Because some commercial came on and made her think of me. Years later, she sent me a Facebook friend request and I accepted. But apparently she deleted me at some point. Whatever. Got laid. Haven't talked to her since we broke up 15 years ago. She then publicly and falsely accused me of RP, then a year later told a mutual friend to tell me she realized I never RP'd her. Edit for some more background. We dated for 9 months. Heavy petting for the first 6 months, then we had sex many times over the last 3 months of our relationship. This ended when she stopped having periods. She immediately went with her mother for an extended weekend to city known for doing abortions. She denies pregnancy abortion. Then the allegations come out.